In the vast, golden desert, where the sun beat down with relentless heat, there lived a wise and patient camel named Carl. Carl had a thick coat of fur, large, gentle eyes, and sturdy legs that had carried him across many miles of desert sands. He wasn't the fastest camel, nor the youngest, but he was known far and wide for his patience and calm demeanor. One day, Carl was called upon by a group of travelers. They were heading to the distant oasis, a place of shade and cool water, but the journey was long and treacherous. The heat was unbearable, and the sand stretched for miles without a break. "We need your help, Carl," said one of the travelers, a young boy named Rami. "We've heard stories of your great patience. Will you guide us through the desert to the oasis?" Carl looked around at the travelers. They were tired, their clothes ragged, and their faces etched with worry. He knew the journey would be difficult, but he also knew the value of helping others, especially when they needed it most. "I will guide you," Carl said kindly, "but remember, the desert teaches us all about patience. If we rush, we will lose our way. We must travel slowly and steadily." And so, the journey began. For days, they trekked across the burning sands, with Carl leading the way. The travelers struggled to keep up with his slow, steady pace. The sun was high, and their water supplies were running low. Rami's feet were blistered, and the others were weary. "I can't go any further," one of the travelers explained. "The sun is too hot. I just want to rest." Carl, who had traveled these same sands countless times, stopped and turned to them with his kind, patient eyes. "Rest if you must, but remember, even in the hardest times, it's important to keep going," Carl said softly. "The oasis is closer than you think, but only those who persevere will reach it." With that, Carl allowed them to rest under the shade of a small dune. He knew they needed time to recover, so he patiently waited with them, offering encouragement and keeping watch over the group. As the days passed, the travelers grew stronger, and Carl's patience never wavered. He knew that sometimes the journey was more important than the destination. The travelers began to understand this lesson as well. They learned to appreciate the small moments along the way, the cool breeze at dawn, the beautiful patterns the sand made under the setting sun, and the quiet peace of the desert. Finally, after many long days of travel, the group saw it, a glimmer of green on the horizon. The oasis was in sight. Rami's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. "We made it. We're here." The travelers rushed forward, eager to drink the cool, refreshing water that awaited them. But Rami stopped and turned to Carl. "We couldn't have made it without you," he said. "Your patience and kindness kept us going." Carl smiled gently, his eyes shining with wisdom. "It wasn't just me, Rami. You all showed great strength too. It's not always the fastest or the easiest way that gets us to where we need to be, but the slow, steady steps and the courage to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey." And so, Carl the Camel's journey came to an end. But his lessons of patience, kindness, and perseverance lived on in the hearts of the travelers. They would never forget the wise camel who showed them that sometimes the greatest rewards come not from rushing to the end, but from embracing the journey itself.